Shopping is hard.
I can never find anything in my size.
I don't even know my size.
I buy my clothes the same place I buy my groceries.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
Oh my God, it's the coolest thing ever. Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? Well, check this out. It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. They ship Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garten's famous cakes. Seriously. So if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Like measles and scurvy, we're back.
Wait a minute, is scurvy back too?
Miss Thing, I think everything is back because we have people who are running health departments that know nothing about health.
I didn't know scurvy. I know measles is back.
And I think polio in some places.
It's coming. I can't wait to die of consumption in the spring. Remember that, Laura? On all the old movies, they would be like coughing, and then there'd be blood in their handkerchief, and then they'd be dead in the spring.
And then it'd be like yellow fever.
Yellow fever! Yay! Can't wait for that one. Anyway, hi.
All right, kids. I'm going to let you finish show number 226. We're back. I know you haven't heard from us in a couple of weeks.
Well, we were taking a 2-week off break. It just extended a little. We were. Yeah. So, you know, it's not like...
And it's a very important show because ultimately we missed our birthday. It's our birthday. I'm going to let you finish. Is 6 years old.
Oh, that's right. We
are 6 years old.
And we have all our vaccinations.
Right. Thank God, because they're not going to be available soon, or we're going to be all vaccinated with Fabuloso, because that's what they seem to want to put in shit. So in a minute, we're going to be smelling like the same shit that I use to clean my floor. So I'm going to have a request. A yeast loose lavender, please.
We're gonna smell like every bad apartment building in New York. Fabuloso. Do they sell Fabuloso anywhere else but New York? They must, right?
Absolutely. I bought some at the Dollar Tree when I was in Virginia the last time.
All right. Thank God for Fabuloso. Every time people complain, like new people in the building, about the smells, I'm like, I'm sorry, it could be worse. It could be Fabuloso. So shut up.
And I actually like the smell of Fabuloso when I use it on my floors. I do. I come in and I'm like, ooh, it smells like spring.
In Trinidad. What is that smell? It's Fabuloso. We'll get to the show in a second, but I'm trying to think of the marketing meeting when they went through all the possible names. They went, I know, Fabuloso, and everyone, ooh, Fabuloso. People,
but it works, and it's like, you know what?
You know what? Mrs. Myers, it smells great, but it doesn't clean for shit. Fabuloso?
This thing. It's like when I was trying to use those all-natural laundry detergents, and I pick up my white clothes, and I'm like, why is this mauve? Why is this mauve? Like, give me the shit with the chemicals that can kill you if it touches your tongue. I need that.
Listen, we all did drugs. It doesn't matter anymore.
Right. All these natural cleansers, all of the things. It's like, no.
Screw it. No. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
So now that we've discussed our cleaning products and our complete lack of interest in living long, healthy lives, how are you?
I don't know. How are you?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I just can't wait to see who they arrest tomorrow. You read they just arrested Brad Lander.
Did you see it? I mean, they threw them all up against, like, what?
Yeah, Brad Lander, for those of you outside of New York, is the current city comptroller, and he's also running for mayor. We have a mayor, a primary election, and he is a definite contender. I mean, he's definitely in the top 3. He may even be in the top 2. But anyway, they arrested his monkey ass today because at ICE, because ICE has nothing better to do than arrest American citizens. ICE doesn't even have the legal authority to arrest an American citizen.
Well, it's been happening everywhere. It's really crazy. And they're arresting the fact that they're arresting people who
Only
are
Democrats.
sitting in office.
Right.
Or you have lawmakers who were murdered.
Oh, yeah.
And there's zero compassion. Like, I'm looking and I'm like, so this is what we're doing? Is this what we're doing?
Well, like I said, I was just in Bulgaria. Yes, hold for applause. And things are bad when people who lived under the brutal dictatorship of communism with a capital C are like, oh, we are so sorry for you Americans. I'm like, wow. And you lived under communism. Like they took away all your houses and put you in really ugly housing projects on the outskirts of town and told you what you could eat and what you could think and what you could do. And you feel sorry for me? Cool. Anyway, all right. Watch, here's one of my time honored. So, again, we're going bi-weekly now, but we missed a couple days. And in the interim period, the word genius, you and I say the word genius is overused, the word iconic is overused, the word legend is overused. In the case of these two men who passed away, Brian Wilson and Sly Stone, those 3 adjectives don't even do them justice, or nouns. I mean, I think that we can all agree that these are just foundational artists of whom influence every form of music possible. Sly Stone passed first. I believe he was 82 or 83. He
82.
He was in poor health. If you haven't had a chance to see it, our friend Jeff Mao was on the show a couple months ago talking about the Sly Stone documentary, which is on Hulu. Really interesting doc. I mean, Sly, we don't have to tell you the importance of Sly, but it's really, really worth watching that documentary. And I think the best tribute you can pay to an artist is that you listen to the stuff now. This stuff was recorded, 50 years ago?
Yeah.
50, and it sounds
peak
like
was definitely the early 70s, yeah.
Right, no, yeah, definitely, like 72 maybe, 73. Anyway, he played Woodstock. That was 1969.
Right.
So he's in the 60s, but the point being, the stuff sounds completely contemporary. There's nothing about it sounds of its time. So yes, Sly Stone passed away, and then Brian Wilson died a couple days ago. The genius behind the Beach Boys, who had a relatively short career in terms of Brian Wilson, very famously. Basically had, a nervous breakdown of sorts, had mental health issues, like Sly Stone, had drug issues like Sly Stone, tortured genius like Sly Stone. But Brian Wilson, if he wrote Only God Only Knows, he would deserve to be immortalized. So just great. I mean, just the Beach Boys, their influence is... I read something that they said that after Pet Sounds, which is considered their most important and one of the best albums ever made, period, of any genre of music, after the Beatles heard Pet Sounds, they were like, oh, God, we got to step up our game now. And shortly thereafter comes Sgt. Pepper.
Can I ask you a question? And this is a serious question.
You can. Yeah.
I know the Beach Boys music. Why are they considered so important? And I noticed that the people hold them in such a high reverence and him so much. What is it? Why?
Well, it's funny. I was having this conversation with our friend Michael Gonzalez today, and I said, sometimes I feel like if you're a music critic and you don't think Pet Sounds is the greatest album ever made, they will take your pass away. I mean, they were just really well-crafted songs. The harmonies were beautiful. They started off doing like surf music, the irony being that none of them were surfers. Brian Wilson couldn't swim. I think they're just great pop songs. And then with Pet Sounds, they start getting into, or Brian Wilson starts getting into these really intricate orchestrations and arrangements, sort of in a Phil Spector vein. But, and they're just beautiful songs. I mean, they're really, the early surf stuff is kind of more novelty stuff in a way. But they were the first, there was the British invasion going on, right? Well, the Beach Boys were the American band at that time. Because at that time, I think it was all like the Stones and the Beatles, right? So the Beach Boys were the only big American band in that early time. So, I think that's probably it. But Kevin Love. You know who Kevin Love is, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, his uncle is Mike Love from the Beach Boys.
I actually knew that.
Right, and Mike Love's a jerk. But Kevin Love is a very good basketball player. I just thought I'd throw that out there for no good reason. I think that's what it is. I just think you hear the Beach Boys influence. You hear the Beach Boys influence in PM Dawn, of all people. It's the harmonies and the orchestration. And Sly Stone, we know why. I think Sly Stone, you tell me, is probably I think him and James Brown are probably the most important black musicians of the last 60 years. Is that fair to say? Because everyone else who is important is because of those two guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they definitely hold a higher place of still influencing. It's like James Brown influenced a lot of people. But, I think that even in a modern generation, there's some really important ones, including one who I know you can't stand.
No, I'm talking about the foundation.
Yeah. You're talking foundational.
I'm saying
absolutely.
There is no whatever. Yeah.
I think you could see James Brown and Prince. You could see James Brown and Michael Jackson. I think Stevie Wonder is foundational, right? And he's one of those sort of artists. Absolutely.
Well, who's the artist I can't stand?
Who I think is really important of the new generation? Chris Brown.
I just can't stand him as a human being.
Yeah, Chris Brown. I think as an entertainer.
No, he's very good, but I think
as an artist, and for a whole generation, I think that he's insanely talented. I hate that he can't not step in shit all of the time.
No, he's doing more than stepping in shit. He's beating up women. There's a difference. He's violent, But what I meant by foundational, not to be funny, is saying that I think like those two guys, like you have James Brown and Sly, and then the children of them. Like, Michael Jackson is definitely a child of James Brown and Jackie Wilson, right? And also James Brown in terms of owning his own record label. I'm not saying they're the only two, but I think you hear Sly Stone in so many people still. White groups and black groups. And I think you hear I don't sit around listening to I went back and listened to the Beach Boys today for, the sake of the show. I think someone like you who values songcraft and production, I think if you go and listen to that stuff and listen to Pet Sounds, you'll understand why.
I've never really listened to one of their albums. I have a couple of Sly albums on vinyl, so I did play some of his albums after he passed. Yeah. But I need to go back and actually listen to Beach Boy records to really understand, because they're brought up so much and they're seen as an influence. And I'm like, I always just thought of them as like surfer music who had a short moment had a short moment in time. But clearly it is deeper than that to a lot.
Well, they did really in a way have a short moment in terms of him, because he left he had famously had this nervous breakdown and was seeing a psychiatrist who was exploiting him and ripping of it. Law and Order episode, the inspiration for a Law and Order episode, so you're important when you're a Law and Order episode. But listen to it. I listened to it again from a production. Pet Sounds is 36 minutes long. Remember when and all the songs are under 3 minutes. But yeah, they were a surf group, and then they just sort of just listen to it. I think I'd be interested, because I was listening to it today, and I hadn't listened to it in years. And if you're of a certain age, I'm not of that age. I'm a little young, but if you have people who are older, people in their 70s or something, it's one of those records where nothing sounded the same after that, because they were like Surfing USA and Help Me Rhonda and all that kind of stuff, and then suddenly this comes and you're like, it's like the Beatles going from "I Want to Hold Your Hand" to like Sgt. Pepper's. Like,
Right.
oh wow, okay, oh shit, these guys can do that. So anyway, two great losses.
You were
Another
kind of were you a teenager when Sgt. Pepper came out?
No, honey, I was younger than a teenager. I was 10.
Was that like a big deal when that moment happened?
Yes. Well, I was 10. I got
Yeah.
it as I actually got it as a birthday present.
Yeah.
Or a Hanukkah present. I had it, my album with my name. I used to write my names on top of the record, so
Oh
my
my God,
sister
we all
would
used
take
to.
them.
I think we all did
This
that.
is my record. Amy's record. Hands off. Like, who else is taking it? Sgt. Pepper came out in 1967, I want to say. So I was 8 years old. So I did not know it was important. I just
Right.
wanted the new Beatles record.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a little bit older than that. I forget it came out early, but I just wanted it. I got it as a present. So no, it's funny, when you listen to music, the music, like I wish there was music that changed our worlds in some way now.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I guess punk did for me in a way, and I guess hip hop did for both of us in a way because it was totally new. But imagine being like somebody who grew up like with folk music or something, and then all of a sudden you hear Bob Dylan, or all of a sudden you hear, I don't know, James Brown, and it's like.
You and I have discussed Bob Dylan before, and that's a noise that
I finally saw that movie, by the way, on a plane. A plane.
That's still a noise that I just don't get. I understand his songwriting that I don't get.
I'm the same way.
What was it about? And this might be. I know that you were like. What was it about when he went from being folk Bob Dylan to plugging in the instruments that turned everybody
because
off
all
so
hell
much?
broke loose because the folk community thought they turned his back on that he was like, how dare you become a rock star? We want you to become a stay pure. You know what I mean? That's what it was all about. Yeah, I saw the movie on a plane, so that wasn't the best way to.
What'd you think?
It was all right. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Dylan is famously like a jerk, so he comes off like a jerk. I don't know. I mean, we could get into that.
I met him once because he's been on Columbia for 20 million years.
He's been on Columbia forever.
And when I worked at Columbia, we had some listening thing, and he was there. And I just said hi, just like Bruce. I literally was sitting in front of Bruce Springsteen one time and didn't even realize it. We had like a listening thing for one of his albums, and he was standing right behind me in the Sony Club. And I turned around for something.
The Sony
Do you remember
Club.
the motherfucking Sony Club? Do you remember the motherfucking Sony Club?
I went there once. Miguel invited a bunch of us for a listening set with Donnie Einer, bless his heart, at the head of the table. There's nothing more stressful than sitting with the label president while they're playing new music, and he's watching him to see if you're reacting to the music while you're shoveling in sushi.
And they had a slushy machine, and they would make these great slushies. The Sony Club was fucking.
Can we do a whole show about all the cool shit we used to get for free?
God. Can we do a whole show called Courtney's Corporate Card? Because Courtney's Corporate Card did it big, kids. His corporate card did it big. That was back when you knew what your budget was for the quarter or for the year.
And you had to spend it by the end of the year.
Like, I got to stay. It's not like now. Like, they're so strict. Even with like the vice presidents, executive vice presidents, every place used to stay. I got to stay at all my favorite hotels. I used to regularly when I went to. Okay, when you first started traveling in the music industry, I had to stay at like the Bellage, right? Which is like, then turn into the London or something else. Then you start to move up and you can start staying more in places you wanted. And my old boss, Michelle Fuentes, used to stay at who I speak to all the time still.
Michelle.
And she used to always stay at the Sunset Marquis. So I gravitated to the Sunset Marquis.
That's a nice hotel.
And so I used to get this suite on the third floor, had a balcony, and they had the whiskey bar downstairs. And that was one time you had to be invited to go to the whiskey bar or a guest at the hotel. Walk in one day, there's Pamela Anderson, and there is not a homo on the planet at that point in the early 2000s who didn't love motherfucking Pamela Anderson and all her Pamela Anderson.
I'm getting hungry.
Aerosmith, like we used to go to all of the dinners.
I know.
Everywhere.
We'll do a whole
Ooh.
show about that because we're both
Ooh.
hungry. I know.
So
Believe me,
good.
I will say this, and then we'll switch. As a freelance writer,
I'm sure you did.
guys out. Oh, we were.
Oh, of course, because you knew. We're like, where do you want to go? Let's go here. And the corporate card would come out, and it'd be like, eat what you want. Nobody, you didn't have to worry. It's like, oh, you want a steak and the lobster? Eat what you want. It's like taking a writer out. Like for me, it was taking the guys from the video, especially when I was in video, taking one from this video show, this one here, taking the artist, The best.
The best. Oh.
I'm so glad I got to experience that because I think that was my generation was the last leg of really getting that in that way.
For sure. Well, you know who's not going to experience?
Wait, hold on. Let's talk about, and I know we went off edge. I want to talk about one more person who passed away. Ananda Lewis. Ananda was amazing. And when I first met her, it's, because I worked in video promotion. So we dealt with all of the shows on BET, MTV. When she used to do Teen Summit and we would book artists on that show. She was an amazing, amazing woman. Loved by everyone. Really kind. And gone at 52. So rest in peace, Ananda. It's really devastating that you're gone. But boy, did you leave a mark and a legacy.
Yeah, and women, get your mammograms. That's all I gotta say about that. Get your mammogram. But yeah, no, she was seemed like a very lovely person. All right, let me cleanse my palate from that. So here I am. I'm in Bulgaria. 7 hours ahead.
As one normally is.
As one does. I'm on a tour of all the areas. Albania, Bulgaria.
You're all of the Us.
All the Balkans. I am your gal in the Balkans. Anyway, and I'm realizing I'm not going to be able to watch the Knick game because it would be 3 a.m. there. Bulgaria, it's a basketball. People like basketball there. But anyway, I start getting WhatsApps and people, and I'm like, yeah, well, they lost. And I'm like, okay, we had a great run. It was emotional. And then I read that the ghost of James Dolan has risen from the crypt, that he has been at the, what is that thing called? The Spectrum?
The Sphere.
The Sphere, whatever. The piece that we were all like, we've had 2 years without James Dolan saying a word. This is good. We're winning. James Dolan is being quiet. Don't wake the Dolan.
Except when he sent Beyonce a cease and desist.
I'm talking about with the Knicks. I don't care what he does in his other. I don't care about that. I don't care. He's an asshole. We know that. But then James Dolan, because this is what you do after you have a coach who, with all his flaws, took this team to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. You know what you do? You fire the coach without having a coach ready to come in.
Well, the story really goes that a lot of it was player-led. So there was a little...
Not Jalen.
Well, I don't know. After they announced that he was fired, we saw pictures of Jalen and all of them partying in a club. I am one of the people that absolutely believes that a coaching change was needed. I actually do feel that. I think that Thibs was great and got the Knicks to a certain place, but I think that they did need something different. They just need something different.
Well, who are they going to bring? Did you see that letter he wrote? That was a classy act.
Yes,
that was
absolutely.
A very classy act to write an open letter to the fans.
I also think that there needs to be some big changes. There needs to be some more changes in the offseason to the players. I think they need a little bit of a
Well, supposedly people are thinking that Cat turned out to be not worth all.
Cat. I think Cat did his thing, but he's one person. I don't think he was terrible.
Bring back Dante.
I kind of feel like the person who was really inconsistent was Josh Hart. He was really inconsistent.
He gets into foul trouble too easily.
And there are just times where it's like, what do you do? We love him. But there was and I think we're going to see some big player changes in this offseason. I do.
They're saying Durant, but I hope not.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And here's the truth. Let's talk about Kevin Durant. Great player. He already went. Yeah. He went to Brooklyn. They didn't win. He's been in Phoenix. They didn't win. So can he play? Sure. People really want Giannis in New York. That's been the thing.
That would be interesting.
Now, can you imagine the Greek Freak with the whole Greek community too? The way they come out every time he plays in New York, they would lose their shit.
Bay Ridge would be empty. You could get a table at any souvlaki joint in Bay Ridge.
You and I already have to do OnlyFans to try to get a ticket. I feel like we'd really have to do it to try to get a ticket to the Knicks game if he came to New York.
Oh, no, that would be out of control. Well, anyway, so farewell to Thibs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know people.
Thank you, Thibs. I think that you did great for New York.
It's just James Dolan. It's just we will never have a championship until he is the curse. He's the curse. I mean, because he's
his family's not going to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Even when he's gone, they're never going to sell the Knicks.
No, and they own the Garden too. Mm-hmm. So the Grammys have added. Look, I even took notes. Look at me. I wrote them down. They've added 2 new categories.
More than 2, actually.
Yeah, the 2. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so the categories are. I'll talk about the one that's not controversial. Best record. What they've done is taken all the elements of the best recording package and made it into one thing, which makes sense after all. I mean, it's like, and they've added
album cover,
best album cover, which is strange that that's never been in there. If you're going to have every other element, liner notes, packaging, typeface, and you don't have album cover. All right, so that's going to be in there. The eligibility for Best New Artist has expanded, which is really interesting. So now it's going to include artists previously nominated for Artist of the Year, for Album of the Year, but whose contributions fell below the current 20% playing time threshold. So that basically means if you're on another album and you were a featured artist, but you weren't like the featured artist, you can get nominated now, which I didn't even know was a thing. That it wasn't a thing.
Right.
I guess I was like, this is a thing that I didn't know was a thing. I guess. So there you go. I guess what it means was they were counting album best new artist as someone who put out a whole album.
Yeah.
Now they're going to say, in a desperate attempt to get more ratings, if you're a featured artist. No, but if you're like, so in theory, before SZA put out an album, she could have been nominated for Best New Artist if she was on a certain amount of records. So, I mean, it's
made an impact. It's interesting.
Right. It's a good look. I mean, it's an interesting look, and it is a way of, in the way that the Grammys are trying to expand their reach, and kind of, it is a good look for Black music, for sure. It's definitely a good look for Black music, because that's and it's a good look for Latin music. It's a good look for sort of the less quote unquote mainstream categories, I think. I mean, I think it's a very good look. Okay, so blah 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 blah. All right, so the other one that is, there's going to be 2 country music categories. So there's going to be Best Contemporary Country, and then Best Traditional Country. And so the conspiracy people are like, oh, they're only doing this because Beyonce won country album. But isn't every other category?
Yes. Yes. And that's the part that people don't realize. It's like, and I'll back into the Beyonce part. There's Best R&B, Best Traditional R&B album. There's Best Pop, Best Traditional Pop Vocal album.
There's also Best Alternative.
And I get where people think Beyonce won and this is what they're doing. I'm also not mad at that, because here's the thing that people don't realize. When Beyonce's Renaissance won Best Dance Music Album, people in the dance community were not happy.
Right.
And I'll explain why it's not happy. They were like, we love her, we love this record, but she is not a dance music artist. So you've got this giant name recognition, you put out this giant album, you get to sweep our category and win. But it's like, you're not a dance music artist. Your song gets to win Best Dance Song. You're not a dance music artist. So how do we even compete with that?
Yeah, no, I think but you're exactly right. Every category, what do they think alternative rock is? It's just a subgenre of rock. Every other category has a subdivision. There's hip hop with vocals. There's hip hop with singing. So I don't know why people.
And if I was a country artist, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, listen, I love Beyonce. I'm glad she made this record, but she's not a country artist. She comes in and she sweeps our category.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
But she didn't even go to country radio. She didn't do any of the things I have to do to be a country artist.
Well, it's sort of the way like with Taylor Swift, when Taylor Swift decided to become a pop artist, people were like, wait a minute, she's not, I think.
But the flip side is she went and did all the things. She went to pop radio. She was like, I'm serious about this genre. So I'm not just going to come here and say, here's my name. I'm going to do all the things.
Right. Well, we've had this conversation about.
You know what I mean? I'm going to do all the things. So that at least you cannot come back and say, you just swept in here and breezed in. And you and I have talked about this a million times. I think Beyonce's album, I think Cowboy Carter is great. It's not a country album to me. It is a Beyonce album with country influence and more Americana influence to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's a great record.
That's what I'm saying, and this is why there shouldn't be any agita over this category because all of these major genres already have subgenres. There's best tropical Latin. There's best alternative Latin.
True.
There's best alternative jazz. Every year there's best Afro beats and African music. So I think that everybody sometimes needs to kind of like not see everything through a prism of a conspiracy, and it's an acknowledgement of how big country is. I mean, because really, is Morgan Wallen a traditional country artist? I don't know. I don't even know to me, traditional country, I still think like what would Hank Williams be considered now?
Right.
Other than 100 times better than Morgan Wallen.
All right, let's take a break right here. You know what? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to talk about more things that are not this. We'll see you in a quick second.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
Dealing with hidradenitis suppurativa, HS, is tough. But you're not alone. Before I started Cosentyx, I looked at the website and saw it had many years of clinical research. That made me feel confident.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe hidradenitis suppurativa, HS. Don't use if allergic to Cosentyx. Get checked for TB before starting. Increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like TB or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some were fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Don't wait. Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
And we're back.
All right, so, okay, I'm going to tell you something, and I are you sitting down when I tell you this?
No.
You're sitting down, right? Well, stand up and then sit down. I heard a rumor that if you're a really good-looking woman and you make a sexy album cover or have a sexy photo shoot, people get, like, freaked out or they can't understand why. Anyway, Sabrina Carpenter. I heard her new single is amazing. I've heard the new single's great. Everybody loves the new single. I'm hot or cold in her. I think she still doesn't look like a real person to me. I feel like she looks like she's animated, like drawn. I also don't think she's as old as she's saying she is, but that's a whole other conversation. So her album cover for her new album is her on all fours. Wow, that's original. Facing a guy's crotch ish, with his hand on her hair ish, and I think is there a chain involved around her neck?
The title is Man's Best Friend.
Yeah. All right. Whatever.
Okay.
It's very Spinal Tap. You remember when Spinal Tap smelled the glove? We're still doing. I mean, as a feminist, I'm like, okay, she made her choice, but I'm like, really, it's so like done already.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's so done. It's so done. I mean, I don't. She's a sexy girl. Her whole thing is sort of this Betty Boop kind of thing. I get it, but I'm like, I just find it all like, this is the best we can come up with in 2025. You won't see our girl Dua Lipa wouldn't do something like that.
It felt, when I look at it, it feels classless. I understand. Listen, I always say this. You have the right to do whatever you want. It's your art. Go for it. But when I first saw it, I was just like, what is the message we're sending with this?
It's not even that interesting.
I'm
that's the thing.
I'm like, I don't get why this is happening.
But the thing is, I think what you're saying, I mean, I looked at it and I'm just like, it's not like, okay, Helmut Newton was provocative, and that was like, Helmut Newton was like really provocative and in your face, and like, oh my God, these women and these images and like super, super sexual and stuff like that. And maybe it was the times and it was more kind of shocking for the moment. But I look at the picture and it's just like, okay, she's a pretty girl. She's super, super petite. She's on her knees. She's looking like she's being dominated in some way. I mean, haven't we done this image before?
A million times. And right. I'm with you. I love provocative when it's done right. There's something about it just feels, for lack of a better word, trashy.
Well, it's
and not in a good way.
I'm saying
not in a good way.
Right. It just seems like it just doesn't say anything or do anything in terms of it. Just, I don't get what the point of it is. I mean, it's not like something where she's not a kid, so she doesn't have to do her, I'm Britney Spears, I'm no longer a kid anymore, I'm going to make a sexy record. You've established yourself as a sexual artist already. I just am like, it's like, all right, yay, you're on your knees.
It's like,
yay, that's
okay.
great.
Mm-hmm.
While you're down there, can you find that quarter I dropped on the? I don't know.
And do you smell the Fabuloso?
That is our next album. Smell the Fabuloso.
Smell the Fabuloso.
I smell the Fabuloso. All right, so three women who always were sexy and cool and classy are Salt and Pepper, who are going to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. And Salt and Pepper, stop me if you've heard this story before. It's never happened before in the music, and I almost fell off my chair when you sent this as a story. I went, oh my God, they're suing their record label because they want to regain ownership of their masters and their songs. So they're suing.
And I believe what the rule is, there's been enough time where they should,
25 years
should revert back to them. And I believe Universal's not trying to let it go.
Right. Now, let me ask you this, because I know that they wrote, their early stuff was Herbie Lovebug wrote most of that stuff.
Well,
right?
I believe he did the music, but I think that they always didn't.
Where they contributed to the lyrics?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, so they're seeking $1 million in damages, and they want the masters. Mm-hmm. So, this is the oldest story. Record company people are shady, So I hope they do, because I love Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
And all artists should be able to own.
I always find it really weird that somebody else even though I know they invest in you and all other things, but the fact that they get to own your art forever is kind of
weird.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's like, imagine like the person, it's like, oh, I bought some paint for you to make this painting, Picasso, and now I'm going to own your painting.
It's like that whole Motown model of Irv Gotti, God rest his soul, like owning all of Ashanti's masters and feel like, well, I paid for it when she made these records. It's like, okay, and you've made $1 gazillion over and over again.
Right.
She should have nothing and you should have everything, like for the music that she wrote.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
A-Marie did a Tiny Desk. It's not very good. Okay, next. I did her bio, and I want to say that
I worked with her. She was on Columbia.
Very nice woman.
Sweet as can be.
Smart as a whip.
Sweet as can be.
I don't think anyone would ever accuse her of being one of the great vocalists of our times. Is that fair?
I think that that's fair. And actually, for you, that was quite nice.
She's not a bad singer at all, but she's not a live singer. She's a studio singer. So that she was missing a few notes here and there, but I don't care. She looks amazing.
She looks great.
And the band is amazing.
But it was like they felt like they were playing in a rehearsal. The background singers felt like it was the first time they got together.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
And it was just kind of like, I don't know what this is. She redeemed herself a little bit more on the BET Awards, I will say.
Yeah.
Like,
is she having a comeback? Is something
She's having a little bit of a moment, She's having a little
That's
bit
good.
of a moment. Listen, I'm happy for anybody to have a moment.
And one thing is,
Still
Rich
Kids.
Harrison. Oh my God, Rich Harrison produced that, and then he does Crazy in Love, and then everybody forgets about A-Marie because, but she was first doing the go-go stuff. I mean, and she's from DC.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing. She's from DC, yeah.
She comes to go-go naturally, but yeah, you know what? The Tiny Desk thing has kind of jumped the shark a bit. It needs to kind of now not get everybody. It
used to be a lot of up-and-coming artists and new, and now I feel like they definitely are hitting the names. We're in a names. I liked that they did the Broadway cast and thing. Okay, can we jump to the Tonys for a minute?
Are we segueing? All right, hold on.
Can we just jump to the Tonys for a minute?
That's the one award show I could give a flying fuck about because I never see it. It's fun, though. It's a fun show, but I never watch it. All right, Tonys, go.
I know that the homosexuals are going to come for me.
Wait a minute. Stop. You want the homosexuals to come for you in a different way.
In a different way. And everybody knows how much I love Audra McDonald. I love her. But I do not enjoy the operatic singing style for Gypsy's music. Now, I know people who've seen it. I'm supposed to be going to see it in June, later this month.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool.
I love Audra. I see everything she's in. It's not, everybody's like, she acts the song beautifully. And I was like, and that is amazing. I've seen Gypsy on Broadway.
Oh, cool. With who?
I saw it with Bernadette Peters.
Oh, wow.
I saw Bernadette, and I thought Bernadette was great. But I definitely am holding my opinion because I know a bunch of people who've seen this new version. I know some people who have absolutely loved it and said Audra just emotionally took them there. And I know others were like, it's different. I mean, I won't Patti LuPone it because I'm just not a cunt like that.
Wait a minute. Why is Patti LuPone a cunt for saying she just doesn't like somebody?
Because the way she talked about those women was really fucked up, and she was mean.
She just said
no.
Mean.
No, but here's the thing. There was really the way she called Keisha a bitch, and the way she talked about Audra, and I thought Audra's response was really classy.
Did you read the New Yorker?
Yes, I did. Yes, and this is my opinion. I do not like it. And as a black person,
right?
It felt laced with. I just didn't like the way it felt. And it hit me that way organically. And I was like,
But she's called Madonna a talentless bitch, too. She doesn't like, she's Patti LuPone.
It's very different. Yes. But Madonna's not her colleague. These are her colleagues. And I think she thought it was really cute and funny. And it wasn't. And I think you have to be careful when you're the person who's known as the one who can come with all of the quips. There is a line that sometimes those kind of people, and I think you know this, those kind of people always feel like, oh, I can keep pushing it. And there is that time when you go too far and people are like, you know what, we've had enough of your shit. We put up with your shit. Right. And the truth of the matter is, I've just heard things throughout the years that everybody I know who's been in Audra's presence and worked on shows and different things with her talked about how kind and great she was. I've heard nothing. People don't all the way feel that way about Patty, and I just feel like she went too far.
I mean, look, I have no dog in this show whatsoever. I don't know anything about either one of the women, though I know they're both very talented and they're both very different. And Patti LuPone has always been known as difficult. I will say that if this were two men, it would not even be a story, because a lot of the subtext of this are women going after women. I just feel like, and again, I'm a white girl, I just feel like that complaining about music coming from a show, if it had been the Book of Mormon next to her, would she had been wrong to say this is too loud?
But it wasn't just that. It was like she was shitting on her accomplishments. I mean, who is she? Why is she calling herself a Broadway legend? She's only been in this. Yeah, but but it's fucked up. It's like
it's fucked up no matter, but the racial component isn't what it's fucked up to talk about somebody who is established in a different way. That's what's fucked up.
It is, but it also when it feels. And here's the thing about the racial part, and I'm just gonna say the thing that we as Black people always say out loud. It's like whenever we say this feels like this to us, and this is the way it hits. It's like everybody expects you to break it down and explain it in a way that makes sense to white people, and sometimes it just is what the feeling is.
No,
you know, I'm not saying that about you. It's just saying it is what the feeling is, and sometimes it's just like, you know what, girl, you did too much.
Right.
You did too much.
No, I 100, and it's one of the
because I think she's an equal opportunity bitch. I do with Patty.
I think
she's an equal opportunity bitch.
I think that I mean, I was joking around when we were talking about the show. I said I was very glad I was not in the United States, so I wouldn't have to engage in this online clutching pearls freak out, because I'm like, oh my God, we're about to all die. It's like, you know, this too shall pass, okay? Mm-hmm. I would never in a million years, I wouldn't want anybody telling me what I can or cannot feel on any level. I don't judge anybody's. I'm just saying from the outside, and it's definitely an outside, and it's definitely not my place to say anything about anything. I will just say, for as little as I know about Broadway, I can tell you that Patti LuPone is supposed to be like the meanest girl in Meantown. So the fact that she said something mean,
it's like, I'm like, shock, horror.
Wait, today is Tuesday, you know? I mean, this is a woman who on live television told Donald Trump to go fuck himself, which actually for that alone, and I do love that she completely trashed, the Madonna, I know you love, but I mean, she doesn't care. She's Patti LuPone. She doesn't care. This is what she does. But
no, she said, I mean, and you know how much I love Madonna, but she wasn't lying. She was like, no. She's a movie killer. She's dead behind the eyes. I was like,
she's a movie killer.
I was like, ooh. I'm like,
kind of true. Kind of. I mean, as the kids say, where's the lie?
My fight is always, I always go back. I'm like, but she was great in A League of Her Own, and she was. But it was also an ensemble cast. She didn't have to lead it.
Right. She was great in Desperately Seeking Susan, playing herself. Shanghai Surprise, anyone?
Body of Evidence.
Ooh. Yeah, let's not do this to ourselves. Why do we want to do this to ourselves?
Meanwhile, I'm just going to say this. If there's anybody meaner than us on the earth, it's probably Patti LuPone. Okay, what's next?
Yeah. I know, but her brother used to be on All My Children. I just thought I'd throw that out.
Who was her brother?
Robert LuPone.
Who did he play?
He was on... I forget, but he was on The Sopranos for years, too.
He was?
Yes, he played the next door neighbor, something Cusimano, of one of the secondary mob guys. He looks just like her if she were a boy. He's passed away several years ago, but that was.
Can we do the one we're listening?
He played Erica Kane's brother on All My Children.
Erica had a brother? I don't remember
Yes.
Erica having a brother.
And Jackson had an inexplicably black child.
And do you remember when Erica used to live in the penthouse? She used to live in the penthouse because she was a model.
Do you remember that they had? Remember when they had the only beach in Pennsylvania? Pine Valley. They'd go down to the beach and be like, "Wait a minute, Pennsylvania is completely landlocked. Why is there a beach?" I don't understand why Dickie's making out with Tad on a beach in Pennsylvania, unless they went over to Jersey.
Right.
What are you listening to? What are you listening to?
I am.
You have to say for some reason.
1,000% obsessed with the new Mariah Carey single, Type Dangerous.
I've heard it. It's Anderson .Paak, right?
It's so good.
It's Anderson .Paak.
Yes, and it is giving very early aughts Mariah. It's great.
Okay.
And there's this artist, her name is Anastasia, and she has a new album called Tether that has been on repeat. I love it. She's got this jazzy.
Wait a minute, Anastasia.
Not the white Anastasia who blew up
you know
in
what
Europe.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, it's in her new album is called Tether. It's so good. Oh. How did I forget this?
I don't know.
And Lotus, the new Little Simz album.
I'm sorry. That's what I was gonna say.
It's
so good. So good.
So first of all,
so good.
She's clearly pissed at the dude from Salt. Because it's a lot about it's like she's put it all on wax, and it is to me, it's her best work yet.
She's doing a lot more singing on this too. The vibe is very kind of like
really good, really good.
No, I was like, okay, that's what I've been listening to too. Mm-hmm. I was kind of like not listening to anything except for a language I couldn't understand. I mean, I was going back and listening to old stuff. I always do that. But the Lotus, Little Simz. God, I wish she would tour. I would kill to see her. She's got to tour. She's got a. But she's good, man. She's never put out a bad record.
Nope.
She never has. She's really, really good. All right. We're off every other, like, your paycheck. Because every other.
I got paid today. I came early.
Hello, Johnny Kemp.
It's like, Gling just got paid. Oh.
Go, Johnny Kemp. That was like very Cher. Speaking of which, I need to talk to you about Cher when because I want to book that. All right, take us out of here, please.
You know what the deal is. You're listening to us on the Pantheon Podcast Network, Pantheon Media. So follow us there on their main page. Follow everything Pantheon. Lots of great shows. Thank you. You guys have been behaving nicely on our Facebook page. ImmaLetYouFinish.
Because we got rid of everybody.
Yeah, we sure did. Listen, one day we discovered the block button and we've never looked back.
I know. It's so much fun. It's like discovering you have a little bell.
And
like
we don't do it the first time. We really give people enough rope to hang themselves.
And we do have consultations.
We do. We don't like having to block people. We really don't.
No, we don't.
We hate it. We actually really hate it. It just gets to a point.
I have noticed that a few of the people that we blocked have just seemed to have disappeared from the interwebs altogether, but I'm wondering it's because I blocked them so I don't see any of their stuff.
And I block them everywhere too. When I block them from the show, I also block them from my personal page.
I mean, blocking is the new black.
Yeah, honey, listen.
I'm all about the blocking.
Like, listen, it's like...
I don't have time. I haven't got
block,
time for the page.
You know the shit.
Block.
We both need to eat. So here's the thing, kids. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa.
Bye.
It's summer. Bye. Get a tan. Wear your sunscreen.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Happy Juneteenth. We're free. Do all of the things. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Toodles.
Bye.